And how did you get into filmmaking, and what is it about filmmaking
Okay.
that attracts you as a creative medium?
Film was something I was always into, like since I was, like 5 or 6 years old, and it wasn't something that I thought you could actually go out and do, as a profession. So I did entertain the notion of, applying for going to film school and all that kind of stuff, but it was very unreal still, and I don't think my parents would have been okay with it. So I went to a Drake at Des Moines, and I was in the school of journalism there. I was an advertising major. So pretty much after I came out of school, I just did I did copywriting and copy editing stuff for ads and advertising in the field of advertising. But then when I started working in Dallas, I was still wanted to explore film on the side as a hobby. So I started to read books and took classes and all that kind of stuff. And just over time, I started to make short films, and then it just sort of went from there. And that's where we're at today.
Well, I watched Chow, and it's a beautiful film.
Thank you.
Your filmmaking style, to me, seems classical and elegant and,
Right.
and spare and even poetic, I would describe it.
Thank you.
Who are your influences in the filmmaking world?
Ozu is one of the big inspirations for me for Chow. I think it was, he's like a big classic Japanese director back in, I think he started working from the 30s to the late 60s. But I think I usually gravitate towards foreign cinema, whether it's Asian cinema or European cinema. I think that's a lot of the films from those regions tend to be a little bit more, they tend to be character-driven films that are also very introspective. And I think that those are things that I'm really drawn to as a person and also as a filmmaker.
What did you learn from making Chow?
What I learned from making Chow was it's hard to make a good film, and it's really not worth it if you don't enjoy it. It's just too hard to just not take it seriously, and it's only by taking it seriously and by really enjoying every bit of it that all the unpleasant things about it is bearable. I think that's one of the things I learned about it. But also, I think in Chow in particular, it was more along the lines of a lot of the things I learned from it was the conversations I had with the audience after the screenings. And one of the things I realized from talking to people is this sense of spiritual need in the audience is something that is not addressed enough. When people go watch films in general, there's always we always think we just want to be entertained. When that's of course it's a good thing to be entertained, to watch films to be entertained. But I think there's also this whole unrealized potential of cinema where you can actually go in and watch something and reflect on it, and then figure out if it challenges the way you think about just life in general, about yourself, or makes you think about how does this film affect me as a person? How does this film make me look at life in a different way? And I think that part of it, even though a lot of the things that we did when we were making the film were conscious creative decisions, but I didn't think that it was going to have this sort of really profound effect on people when people are watching the film. So I think that's definitely one thing that I'm gonna consciously do as a filmmaker going forward with the next project or the projects after that.